Outside Deer Trail, Colorado, a half-hour east of the Denver International Airport, is the home place for Stacked Lazy 3 Ranch. Its commercial 500-head cow-calf herd grazes 28,000 acres of native grass pasture. The ranch produces wheat from 5,000 acres, half of it in fallow every year.
Family farm started here in Deer Trail after World War II ended. My dad grew up on a ranch in Hudson, Colorado, and after the war ended, he ended up coming over further east into Deer Trail. It's a diversified cow-calf operation with dry land crops. We have about 5,000 acres of dry land crops and about 28,000 acres of native grass pastures.
The operation is owned and managed by Kevin and Sandy Tariq. They have 2 sons, Travis and Tyler. Paige is the newest addition to the family. She married Tyler a couple of years ago. Kevin and Sandy also have 2 daughters, Jackie and Missy. They live and work in Nebraska, but still work on the ranch when they can.
The boys have their own individual specialties that they do on the farm and the ranch. One of them is a bigger rancher than the other one is, and the other one farms and likes it and more mechanical, and they go off and do their own thing. We kind of set the day straight and just turn them loose and see how they get along.
The early years on the ranch were not easy, Sandy says.
The first piece of land that we bought was in '93. We bought 1,227 acres from Kevin's dad. Lean. But yeah, in the beginning, those early days are pretty lean. You know, everything you make, what looks like profits, you put right back into the place to try to grow what you have and keep it moving.
Sandy and Kevin made early investments in conservation. They have installed 55,000 feet of terraces, fixed riparian areas, and retention ponds, planted trees, and laid thousands of feet of water pipeline. For this work and more, Stacked Lazy 3 Ranch was awarded the 2016 Colorado Leopold Conservation Award.
We identified certain areas of the farm that we wanted to turn back to native grass and stop some erosion. And it was maybe not the best quality of farm ground to start with. We put thousands of acres of marginal farm ground back into native grass, and we kind of got the best of both worlds right now.
When we started compiling everything for the Leopold, it's amazing how much stuff you do over the course of 25 or 30 years. Tree lines or shelter belts and pipelines and storage tanks and enhancing waterways that should never have been farmed. We've replanted a lot of marginal farm ground. I guess our ethic on conservation has always been, if you take care of the land, it'll take care of you. And so that's kind of what we strive to do, is take care of it.
Kevin gives his sons room to run the business, but he expects good communications.
They communicate well. The lines of communication are open, and I think that's a key, that they can communicate.
Kevin remembers something his grandmother told him about raising boys.
My grandmother told me a long time ago, she says, you'll raise your kids when they're little or you'll raise them all your life. Them words rang home to Sandy and I, and I'd like to see my boys raise their kids in the same environment they were raised in. They don't have to write a new book.
From the beginning, Kevin and Sandy operated the ranch and farm together.
It wasn't an option. We didn't think it was an option for her to go out and find an off-farm income and bring in, some much needed income, actually.
For me to stay on the ranch and not look elsewhere for a job was just kind of an unspoken deal. Kevin and I we were partners, and it took both of us to do everything. And as the kids got older, as soon as they were old enough to do something, they were doing something.
You get one chance a lifetime to raise them kids, and I think her influence and my influence is how we wanted our children raised, and there wasn't enough money in this whole dang world to sacrifice that.
Sandy says Travis, the older of her two sons, has responsibilities that simply just come with being the oldest son.
Travis is the oldest, and I think that there are certain inherent responsibilities that just come with being the oldest. But he has taken on the farming side of things, he has taken on the spraying and the farming, and that's kind of his forte.
Travis works the crops side of the business and is the more mechanically inclined of the brothers.
For the farming end of this operation, that really comprises of keeping the summer follow work, the ground in good condition, making sure that we're on top of things, like when the weeds sprout, we get out there and get it taken care of. That's kind of what my job on the ranch is.
Tyler, with Paige, manages the day-to-day work of the cattle business. His life is the cattle.
With Tyler, he is more akin to the cattle. He can mess with the cows all day. He can fix fence. That's where he'd rather be, but that doesn't mean he doesn't get in a tractor when it needs to be done too.
Sandy says that while Paige did not come to Stacked Lazy 3 with ranching experience, her work ethic was felt immediately.
She knew horses, but she has learned so much in the last couple of years. There isn't anything that I go do that she can't do.
Whenever I first brought Paige out, I didn't tell her anything about what I had out here, not for any other reason other than it's very sacred to me, very dear.
Paige remembers the first time she came to the ranch and a conversation with Grandpa Keene.
The first time I was out, I was very green to the operation.
Whenever she came out, we were vaccinating. It was a pretty big shock whenever she seen 1,000 head roll into the corral and all the people, and she finally figured out what I had.
And I was actually walking with Grandpa Keene, and we were walking through the cows in the corral, and I was kind of skittish about that because I'd grown up around horses, and horses really gotta watch your back when you're walking through them. So I asked Grandpa Keene very quietly so no one else heard me. I said, "So do the cows bite? Do I need to watch my back?" And he very politely and very graciously giggled and said, "No, they don't. I think you're gonna be all right." So I'm now the butt of that joke.
Like Kevin and Sandy, Tyler and Paige are now carrying on a new ranching legacy. With Travis, all three are prepared to move Stacked Lazy 3 a generation forward.
With the fact that me and Paige can work together as a husband and wife and as a partnership, it builds a lot of character between the two of us. It's every day. From the time we wake up to the time we go to bed, we're together. That builds a strong relationship between two people.
I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate to be able to go to work every day with Tyler, and we will be very fortunate when we start to grow our family that we'll be able to bring our kids with us and work side by side with them, just as Kevin and Sandy did with their kids.
Sandy's hopes for her two boys, for Paige and their grandchildren, are pretty simple.
I hope that it's something they can continue to do the rest of their life because they love doing it.
Paige understands the importance of the Tariq legacy.
Tyler and I's future goal is that we continue to honor and improve upon what Kevin and Sandy and their parents have started. It's also our goal to hand down the ranch to our children, and we hope that through perseverance and through preparation, we are able to continue to expand and to hand our children down one of the largest ranches in the United States.
Travis will work the ground.
You know, I love everything about it. I love smelling the ground when it's fresh turned over. I love watching the crops grow. I really like haying, swathing and baling. It's great.
Tyler wants to be remembered by those who will come after him.
Well, the ranch, I think, has always held a second party to the family. The ranch has always been a carrier to how we want to raise our kids and how we want to raise our family. One day I'll be gone and this place will be here, and along with this place will be my family. And that's what I want to be remembered by.